The essence of all that we're attempting to bring about in the spiritual life is through rest. Rest is the kingpin of our receptivity to the gifts of God. It's through rest that we allow ourselves to be in communication with the divine. Only in rest. So rest is our way home. And when we begin to find our way home by being at rest, then love flows. Love flows because it's always wanting to flow. Its intention is to flow without any need or effort on our part, just because that's what it is. It's the divine communication that it's just looking to find its way to us and through us. And we allow that by being at rest. And then when love flows, it does what it does. Perfect love casts out all fear. And it sets us free. It liberates us from all our fearful humanness. And when we're free from fear, then we can forgive, truly. Not with a great intention to be spiritual or to awaken, but just because that's our natural state. We know how to let go when it's okay to let go, when we're not afraid of letting go. And then when we let go, we see things the way they are, and we see our own innocence. But the key is to rest. We can rest physically, we can rest mentally, and that's good in our prayer life. But the kind of rest I'm speaking of is the kind of rest that is there always, even in the midst of our activity. But it's the kind of rest that allows us to cease the striving to attain, the striving to get, the striving to overcome the difficulties and the pain of existence. We're always looking for some kind of way out, something to do that will make things easier and allow us to feel better. And it's that rest, because that rest is a state of trust that actually we've been given everything and everything's perfect and okay the way it is. We don't have to change anything if we allow ourselves just to rest and see what happens when that rest is complete. It's our willingness to let life give to us what life is offering, what God's gifts are. So we let go of the striving, we let go of the need to do things in order to bring about some kind of happiness that we don't feel. We give up the searching, the need to find a way out. There is no way out, we're already in. And God's placed us in, and he won't take us out, and we can't get out unless we try. And it's that trying that is the problem. We got to give up the trying and all the thought that somehow it's up to us. It's not up to us. We can't do anything. But the Father who is within us, he does everything. And he has done. And all we have to do is receive that. Stop getting, stop trying, stop searching, stop seeking, stop wanting, stop needing. And then what happens? We have contentment. A contentment of being. The kind of contentment that allows things to be the way they are. We look at nature and we see nature as perfect the way it is. We don't have to change it. We look at a bird or a rabbit and we don't have to tell the rabbit what to do and what not to do, and the bird what to do and how to sing louder. Then we can look at people and say the same thing. We don't have to tell them what to do or how to be or how to change to make it better for us. We can let it be the way it is. That's our acceptance. And remember, acceptance is all that can be asked of us. When we accept that, we allow ourselves to trust life. We allow ourselves to trust God, and we allow ourselves to trust ourselves. And when we allow ourselves to trust ourselves and be what it is that we were created as, then love flows, grace flows. It's always been there. It's always been knocking on the door. It's always been ready to flow, but we've interrupted that flow. We've tried to use it to get something for me, to end the suffering, to try and bring about some release from the pain that we're bringing about through our own striving. So love flows because that's what it does. And it flows through us and in us and out into form, into what we think is the outside, but is really our consciousness. And when that love flows, it brings the blessing of release from the pain and from the strife and from all the things that we're trying to do to make life right. What it does is releases us from fear in all its forms. It releases us from death in all its forms. When we're released from death, then we're alive. But we can't be alive while we think we could die, or that there is death, and there's like, and there's love. Okay, we'll continue. We've got a little interruption there, but internet problem. But anyway, I think we were talking about love, and that when we don't interrupt it to use it for what it is that we want, which we don't make a positive decision or a conscious decision to do. We're just simply doing it. That's what it is to be a human being, to take the grace of God, to take the love and use it for what it is that we want, for pleasure, or to fulfill a dream, and to do something that is essentially illegitimate, because we have been given everything and we don't have any needs, and so we shouldn't need to want anything because we've been given everything. And it's that fulfillment of what it is that we are that allows us to be what it is when we're contented, and then love can flow. And then it flows very naturally, and it does what it does. It heals the body. It heals the mind. It brings about a true perception of what's taking place. It allows us to see things the way they are. And when we see things the way they are, then forgiveness can take place. But it's a natural thing. It's not something we're doing in order to be more spiritual or to gain heaven. But it's just simply what it is that we do when we allow ourselves to recognize that everything's perfect the way it is, and it's the way God created it. And we're perfect in the same way. And so there's a simple letting go of what it is that interrupts that sense of completion and contentment. And it's not difficult, it's easy. And we have this ease of being because we're not trying anymore. And so when love flows in that way and we can actually allow ourselves to forgive, we begin to see that nothing needs to change. Not fundamentally. We'll change things in a superficial way to make what it is we need to eat or drink, or to what it is that we have for our wherewithal. But essentially, nothing needs to change to make us happy, or make us feel better, or to enhance us in any way, because we know deep down within us we're complete and perfect the way that God created us. So that forgiveness, as I say, is a natural letting go of all the things that we thought we needed to do, all the things that arise. The fear that we had, the fear of death, is working at all sorts of levels. It's like little things, the anxieties, the doubts, the concerns all fade and are released, because now we're relaxed and we've let go and we're resting in God. And so when we forgive in that way, what we see through the eyes of the Spirit, through the eyes of Christ, we see things the way they really are. We see the light in all things. We see the light in our own mind. We have enlightenment. And that enlightenment allows us to perceive things truly, so that everything is beautiful and perfect. But that perfection and beauty is what it is that we are, being actually extended into form. Again, it's really natural. It doesn't require any great endeavor. It's just simply happening because we've let go. And that letting go is what brings about the true seeing, the vision of Christ. And that vision of Christ then is given to all that is in our consciousness. What we thought was on the outside is really no longer on the outside. It's the inside extended, because love is extended. It doesn't have anything to interrupt it, to congeal it. It just moves out and it touches everything that it comes into contact with. And although there's a physical body here seeing things on the outside, the Spirit doesn't see that. It sees oneness, it sees unity, it sees all that is within, because it knows its own happiness and completion. And when it knows its own happiness and completion, it sees that it's there on the outside as well. And it's not just because it's something else that's cooperating. There's this knowing of omnipresence. So I rest in God. And each hour that you take your rest today, a tired mind is suddenly made glad. A bird with broken wings begins to sing. A stream, long dry, begins to flow again. The world is born again each time you rest, and hourly remember that you came to bring the peace of God into the world, that it may take its rest along with you. With each 5 minutes that you rest today, the world is nearer waking, and the time when rest will be the only thing there is comes closer to all worn and tired minds, too weary now to go their way alone. And they will hear the bird begin to sing and see the stream begin to flow again with hope, reborn, and energy refreshed and restored, to walk with lightened steps along the road that suddenly seems easy as they go. You rest within the peace of God today and call upon your brothers from your rest to draw them to their rest along with you. You will be faithful to your trust today, forgetting no one, bringing everyone into the boundless circle of your peace, the holy sanctuary where you rest. Open the temple doors and let them come from far across the world and near as well. Your distant brothers and your closest friends, bid them all enter here and rest with you. You rest within the peace of God today, quiet and unafraid. Each brother comes to take his rest and offers it to you, to rest together here. For thus our rest is made complete, and what we give today we have received already. Time is not the guardian of what we give today. We give to those unborn, those passed by, to every thought of God and to the mind in which these thoughts were born and where they rest. And we remind them of their resting place each time we tell ourselves, I rest in God. Amen.